So the idea from the beginning was to build India its own super app.
The why for it is because India's digital destiny is getting compromised the more we use all US-based, China-based, all these applications.
That's where we, Mr. Rajgopal has a concept that he, I think, advented, which was an on-premise data center. So to come to the office and to look at a section of the office where there's supposed to be tables and chairs, segmented out to run a server, at that age, it really exposes you, right?
The initiatives, it's more about the mess, it's more about the momentum, and it's more about when passion actually becomes your career path.
At NxtGen, we are a company now, we are aspiring to do things which hyperscalers, large organizations, we hear about multi-billion AI companies. We are trying to offer competing offerings to that.
As buddies, as friends, as co-workers, etc. When did you realize that you were good at this?
It's pretty crazy, I never made a CV.
Okay.
Like till date, I don't have a CV. And that's quite an honor, right? And beyond that, we set 3 principles, right? One is data sovereignty, privacy. Second thing is we said no targeted ads. We said we will build business verticals on mobility, commerce, entertainment, but we won't show ads. The reason being, to show ads, I need to understand so much about you that I am actually crossing boundaries to get more and more information. Who are these guys? Do they even do something serious? So our switch on, switch off is like that.
We could be having a very heated conversation at 9:30 p.m. and at 10 p.m. we could be having biryani at Meghna's.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's like that.
We'll get into all the exciting, spicy, the dark side of the friendship as we go along in this conversation. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Simulated Reality, a show where we invite brilliant builders who tell us about what they're building while they're still trying to figure it out. And of course, we have 2 such brilliant minds today with us. I'm talking about Abhisyant and Abhishek of NxtGen. These 2 boys went ahead and tried to figure out the cloud before, well, they were in college. And then, of course, went around to building it. They have been part, and a very important one, of India's tech shift. And today's story is not about, well, perfection. It's not perfection in startups, it's not perfection in terms of, the initiatives. It's more about the mess, it's more about the momentum, and it's more about when passion actually becomes your career path. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the 2 cricket and music buffs at NxtGen Cloud Technologies. Welcome to the show, boys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you for this opportunity. We're really humbled by it. Thank you.
I'm very, very grateful for having you on Simulated Reality. All right, Abhishek, are you looking happy? Are you looking good?
Yeah, I'm looking, great opportunity.
Are you looking it? Are you feeling it?
I'm feeling it. And it's fantastic opportunity.
Well done. All right. So, right off the bat, no pun intended, Abhishek, let's start with that story of the fact that you, while you were still studying and all that was happening, you started doing interesting internships at NxtGen. Well, you were probably, first tell me if that story is true or not.
Yeah.
But the fact that you were introducing the concept of cloud to various people in terms of the clients, etc., and things like that. What was that like for you?
It's pretty crazy. I never made a CV.
Okay.
Like till date, I don't have a CV. And that's quite an honor, right? So grateful for being in that position. Primarily because I think from 10th grade onwards, I had the opportunity to come here and learn, get my hands dirty in NxtGen. So I started out where the most right place to start would be, which is in our customer lifecycle management team, where you get to call customers and actually explain what we do. And while it's still a short career for both of us, I'm happy to say that we've been in this from the time when I was telling customers what cloud even is, to now it becoming a commodity, and you're just talking about virtual machine configuration.
Which year was this,
When I was in 10th grade, maybe about something like 2014, 15, something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So back then, it was whenever I'd get a summer vacation, I would come and I'd try to learn something. So my first internship was doing this. So first I had to learn about what we do so that I could communicate it. After that, I did a few other things in my 11th summer, 12th summer, like ServiceNow implementation. That actually gives you exposure to all departments, because if you're trying to implement a tool for collaboration across the organization, my family felt I could learn and see what every department does, what is the structure. So got to get my hands dirty before I even went to university. So that just super lucky to be able to do that.
It's fabulous because I mean,
Yeah.
one thing that you said stood out for me was the fact that you said it with a lot of gratitude.
Yeah.
That's one of the things which you know, doesn't tend to happen until and unless you're flowing naturally with that sense of culture, or for that sense of, you know, understanding.
Yeah.
Because you tend to feel a lot. You feel very
Entitled, yeah.
don't you?
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
I mean,
I'm not talking about you.
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying
know. In generally,
speaking.
I mean, we see that people feel entitled. I'm fortunate to see. I mean, my parents are first generation entrepreneurs, so I've seen the very humble side also. You know, where he was doing work in large corporates and he was in the grind. So he took a very big risk. When he took that risk, it was not necessary, but something that he felt was a natural step. So I saw all that happening. So. And during that, my parents are very cognizant to ensure that we have the right values growing up. So, good upbringing, but I was able to see that transition from how we were before all this happened and how this came to us. So, I kind of it feels ingrained and
Beautiful,
just feel
man.
grateful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, just
Kudos
fortunate.
to you.
Thank you so much.
Of course, now we have to obviously ask
Yeah.
Abhishek in terms of the fact that what was it like? Because I mean, both of you clearly share a wonderful friendship
Yeah, absolutely.
and have been great friends. We'll get into
Yeah.
all the exciting, spicy, the dark side of the friendship as we go along in this conversation. But what was it like for you when
Right.
you saw Abhisyant doing all of this in school, like he said, and all
No,
that was happening?
we were very well a part of it, right? So the few of us that, you know, we've known each other for a very, very long time, right? Probably from when I was about like a couple years old, and then, you know, I was part of
Yeah, I was 4 years old.
4 years
yeah.
old. So he's
Wow.
Yeah, we know each other since then.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So I was about 2 years old. Abhishant was 4 years old. But then, yeah, how that translated
Did
to
you realize how quickly he slid that in?
Yeah,
I'm the
yeah,
younger one.
one, so like, you know.
slightly younger. No, because a lot of times, if that sort of friendship is not supposed to happen, it wouldn't, right? Because he's 2 years older, you want to be with people your age and all that. But it so happened that we shared a lot of the same values, the same ethics, the same sense of responsibility that we have now. And you
When
know,
you were 2 years old?
no, I mean, eventually over a period of time, right? But yeah,
तुम्हारी diet क्या थी?
no, and I think a lot of it is parenting. Our parenting, I mean, the parenting that we received was very similar. Our parents also share very similar values, and they know each
nice.
other. They're
Very nice.
they're in touch.
Yeah, I think that helps, right?
Yeah,
Abhishek,
it does
in a big way.
It does in a big way, because growing up, all you are is an embodiment of your parents. Right? So if that is similar, you start, you know, bonding with people quicker. And in a sense, I feel that's the ethos of any kind of friendship. There needs to be something similar between two entities. But then, yeah, how that translated to when we grew up was when Abhishant was doing these internships, right? I think we were 13, 14 years old, and he'd tell us to come over to the office. And that's where we, Mr. Raj Gopal has a concept that he, I think, advented, which was an on-premise data center. So to come to the office and to look at a section of the office where there's supposed to be tables and chairs segmented out to run a server, at that age, it really exposes you, right? It's putting you forward all the formal education you're supposed to get and then see. But then we saw it when we were 14 years old. So I think that context about what this business is came in really early. A lot of it was Abhishant, but even the few of us at a very young age were looking at, I think, the latest and greatest in India at that point in time.
Wonderful, man. So at that young an age, both of you, of course, coming in with obviously a wonderful history of a friendship and all of that happening, and then you guys are formally then working in a work environment, right? Obviously, there's a lot that's going on in that young mind.
Yeah.
Because there is the education aspect
Yeah.
of things. And like you very nicely put it across, that when you practically start to see things, did it kind of help in terms of the journey as far as the both of you were concerned that, okay, we are getting into a zone where we are liking it and this is what we want to carry on doing? Because let's be honest, it's a very formative mind at that time, right? Because you might want to go ahead and try other things, or you want to experiment, etc. And were those opportunities allowed to you? Point one. And second, were you happy about moving forward with this?
How I look at it is, coincidentally or unintentionally, we would constantly do most of the things together growing up. Actually, we lived in the same colony. Actually, that is how it
We
kind
got to
of
know each other.
starts. So we tried doing a dumb YouTube channel when we were younger.
Which is
Back
called?
then, it doesn't exist anymore.
So that doesn't
it
matter.
had a name called Axva or something like that.
@XVA.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore.
creative.
By the way, back then, creating content was far more cringe than it is today. Okay, today
true.
it's very cool. Okay?
But
Yeah,
idea kya tha?
The idea was
Behind
you
the
do,
channel, what was the idea?
like you do dumb things like crossbar challenges and you do weird pranks.
We did
like
a lot
you-
of cooking challenge videos. And this
Cooking
is
challenge.
2013, 14.
very
you
ahead
guys
of
cooked.
time.
Yeah, we cooked.
Yeah, we
in
cooked. We
And you
cooked.
still can.
No, I don't think so. But like we used to do very dumb
The channel
videos.
did so well.
Yeah, yeah.
No, so
Oh,
we
yeah.
got to about
like
about,
820 subscribers.
No, we got to 2000 subscribers.
Oh yeah, yeah. We got to
Wow.
2000 at one point. Yeah.
Well
so
done, both
it
of you.
actually wasn't as cool then. Like YouTube and all was very
People
new.
were still not used to it,
Trying
yeah.
to, yeah.
True.
So even we started like then. Of course, everyone got on with their own thing. But I think throughout, whether it was productive or playing football or going out having fun, we did together.
Yeah.
So when he's talking about coming to office and all that, I mean, I would be mesmerized by what is going on. I'd be like, guys, come, let's check it out. I mean, it's nice. So fortunately, he anyway had an interest in engineering. So he was,
Nice, okay.
he's a Fiji student. He was preparing for IIT.
Wow,
He's
okay.
very, very studious. So for him, seeing servers, seeing things practically is like kind of like his own
Like a
practice.
Abhishek in a candy shop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
it's really
right?
fun to see.
So we somehow got aligned, and since this was growing in front of us, fortunately, I think the idea even very early wasn't very alien to us that the potential is there that we can either work together or work together on something together,
Yes.
right? So, and after a certain like 8-9 years of knowing someone, like if you really are chill with them, even then, that means that there's no
sure.
barriers,
Yeah,
So-
you're not really forcing anything. I mean, in that sense, right? That I need to do this. I mean, I have been told to do it. That's why I'm doing it. That's not really.
That
a reason
wasn't
to-
the zone.
Yeah, not
ever.
at all. Yeah, yeah.
Which helps in a big way because it just opens up your creativity, I believe,
Yeah.
Abhishek,
Yeah.
in a big way. And at that
Absolutely.
young an age, when you have that opportunity and that runway,
Yeah.
and especially when you got a friend who's helping you out and maybe a
Yeah.
few friends who's actually joining into the party, it always makes sense. But this brings me to this point. It's a very, very important question. This is something which kept me up at nights when I was writing this for you. What was the funniest, weirdest thing a client ever said to the both of you while you were explaining cloud?
No, there's been a lot of instances where people have tried to coach us about something that we are trying to sell, and that is
I
often.
wanted to get into that.
Yeah, because see, first of all, if you look at him, he looks very, very young. Like he looks like a small college-going child
So I
still
have
with
to
that
keep the
innocent
camera
face.
off sometimes.
So people sometimes
Achha,
when he's
that's
telling,
also an issue.
when
See,
he's
that's a problem I also face, Abhishek.
exactly. So that's what when CIOs, he's explaining to CIOs like this transformational strategy and all of that stuff. They'll just be like, I
Yeah.
get it, like, but like,
Can we get someone with like
yeah. So sometimes like that, and actually, I don't think most of them have the context of who we are. They think we're just corporate colleagues, so maybe that doesn't delve
translate.
in. But I think sometimes we might come off as know-it-alls in front of our clients who come with decades of experiences. So sometimes that gets kind of weird and funny. Like, okay, boss, like, chill. We know what we need to do. You just tell us about your offering. Like,
And
please
But
don't.
that's a big one, no, boys, in terms of the fact that this mindset that people tend to have, or maybe this pre-notion
Absolutely.
that wait a minute, these guys are still young. I
Who
know
are they
a
to
lot-
tell us?
Yeah, exactly, one of those. But how do you kind of break that little glass ceiling? Was that like a challenge for the both of you? Did you
You
find a
can
way
start.
to do
I'll
it?
answer
So
second.
I think there's a mechanism to it, right? Firstly, our intention is never to come across like that, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get something going for NxtGen and its AI initiatives, right? So we are not coming with any notions internally, right? That this is what we want to make a point. That's really not it. We want to go out to a customer and actually solve the problem for them, right? Because if we solve their problem effectively, it makes our life easier as well.
Obviously.
So I think the first thing is making sure that us, and not just us, the entire team carries that ethos, that the idea is not to go out and impress someone, it's to really get some work done for them. I think once you genuinely believe that and you're able to communicate that well, the customers do understand.
Fair enough.
So I don't blame any of them for having any preconceived notions. I mean, they are carrying decades of experience. Decision makers in AI are people with decades of experience in other enterprises.
True.
The fallacy with the system is that the domain itself is new, right? So when you look for someone with, let's say, 10 years of experience in engineering AI, that's a very tough thing to find. But to find a CIO with 25 years of experience who can take a call on it, that's, I think, every company we deal with. So I think internally believing that, we're not out here with an agenda, we genuinely want to get services across, solve their problem for them. At some point in time, if it's not the second, then the third meeting, they do understand that, and that's when they start taking, things seriously. I think that's my honest take.
No, I think that's really well put, and
Yeah,
I
it is
completely
true, actually.
agree with it. I think for me, one other thing also is like I do rehearse to myself that I was given all of this opportunity, this chance to do all this at this age. So just similar to how Abhishek was saying, like I consciously try not to portray it like we know
Is that
what
an
we're
added
offering.
burden though, Abhisyant?
I mean, it's
To constantly remind yourself of that.
I mean, it's quite natural because it's,
Now I'm sure.
Yeah, now I'm sure. But I mean, sometimes, like internally, also sometimes it might come across as a arrogant way or something like that. So I just try to tell myself that I mean, these guys are finally going to be our customers,
Finally, that's what matters.
and that's what matters, right? And if they have a certain approach, we need to mend that with providing them confidence. If I get on their wrong side, I am never going to please them and get anything out of them. And the other thing also is that, at NxtGen, we are a company now, we are aspiring to do things which hyperscalers, large organizations, we hear about multi-billion AI companies. We are trying to offer competing offerings to that. So somewhere, if you do not showcase that value to the customer, they won't believe you over Google, a Meta, and Claude, or all of these companies, right? So when you have to bring that value, you need to showcase that there is genuine value in what I'm saying. Like what we're doing is at par, sovereign, and also ensures that it is not cheap, but it is affordable. And these are core values for Indian enterprise. So we try to tell them that this is our humble effort, and you can see the meat of the matter in what we are portraying to you, demonstrating to you. And the rest, we try to be as respectful, as humble as possible, because I mean, what am I going to get by getting on their wrong side of ego? I mean, CIO has the power, CEO has the power to take whatever call with whichever vendor that they want to. So try to just keep a balance of that. But why it's not difficult is because for me it's quite inherent, because I've seen it happening since 10th grade, that throughout it's been quite easy. So I've always tried to tell myself that, boss, like, ye sab, you have it. I mean, you should try to behave or embrace that, in the right way. So I don't think any customer would have guessed also until they get to know that, we are in whatever position that we are. So
wonderful, man. That's a great grounding education that the both of you have had. And kudos for the fact that you have been able to accept it with a lot of humility. That's what comes across.
Yeah, absolutely. And
so well done, 10 on 10.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Individually, I need to ask you this. When did you guys both realize? I mean, I'm sure you would have realized it at some different points in time in your path, which you had taken together as buddies, as friends, as co-workers, etc. When did you realize that you were good at this? Like, for example, you, Abhishek, and Abhisyant, you just spoke about the fact that, okay, breaking that barrier with the customer, etc. Great. But there has to be an inherent voice from within where you start to say, okay, no, man, I'm good at this.
So you go for it first and then.
Sure. So my role is quite a managerial role today. I don't really, I mean, I do execute a few of my own initiatives, but it's mostly on making lots of people work together efficiently, whether it is product teams or engineering teams. And funnily enough, I have never studied engineering, but I lead like a large engineering team. So I realized that my strength doesn't come in actually teaching them or telling them what is the right way to do their job, because I can't do that. So I feel like for me, throughout my childhood and upbringing, I have been somehow able to get people together and do things. Like, I'll give you a very stupid example. Like,
usually those are the best.
Yeah, those are the best, right? So, like, when we were growing up, and he'll agree to this, like, I would be the only one who would be so passionate to play cricket.
Nice.
So I would save money, I would buy stumps for both sides, bats, tennis balls, everything. And then I would go around in my scooty and spend 1 hour every day just forcing people out of their house. And
How old were you?
I was like very young, like
Yeah, this is, I think, 14.
14 years, 15
Wow.
years, yeah. And I was like, because I was so desperate to play it, so I was just like, now I need to make it happen. Because otherwise, if I go to the ground, it's like empty, completely empty. The weekend is there, and I can hear crickets on the ground. Funny, pun intended. What I would do is, like, I would go around everywhere. I would go pull people out and make sure that we had 6-7 people to play. Or whether it was doing this YouTube channel or something like that, like I would always take it upon myself that agar nahi ho raha hai, to let's make it happen. Like it's not like, oh, let me be the leader or let me be whatever.
You didn't have this little attitude about despondent, ki nahi ho raha, re chodo.
Yeah, it's like, why are they not coming? Like, screw it, even I won't.
That was everyone else, right? So
it's like, koi nahi aa raha hai, like let's not do it.
Correct.
It's not like that. Like for me, it's like, if something has to happen, if it's not happening, let's make it happen. So it's always been like that. I don't know why, but it's always been like that. And few things in college and things like that, it was always. So, I mean, even my parents would tell me, I kind of had a knack of kind of taking initiative and bringing people together.
Did that influence the course you took in terms of education and the path you took? Was that because of that? The guidance and of course this?
No, actually, for my course specifically, I took that decision because since we had an established or starting out to be established family business, I wanted to understand business well.
So then I was trying to draw the distinction, Abhisyant, between, like, let's say you choosing the engineering stream vis-a-vis the managerial.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
From that point of view,
absolutely, you're right.
There.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, like for me, I always felt like I might not have a very technical skill, but I had a good sense in terms of managing and creating initiatives and doing things. Throughout my upbringing, I felt like I was in that position.
Nice.
And actually, it kind of helps people when there is direction, because if there is a direction, then people get together, some things happen. So my exposure has always been like that, and I think even in work it translates to that, because my team actually respects me a lot, not because I'm my dad's son, but they actually respect me as an individual and what I contribute, which I'm very grateful for.
But time लगता है, Abhisyant, वो होने
takes time,
में.
right?
Because the mindset is
Exactly.
generally speaking about
Like,
the fact that
like, aa gaya.
you get my point.
Correct. Takes time. But fortunately, we did an app before this called Mine, and we had the same core product and engineering team. We've bonded.
Again, I'm
for
going
a
to
few
talk
years.
about that, by the way, as we go along.
Yeah.
But
So from that time, we've all come into NxtGen and all that. So it got established well, and I feel like they respect me not because I have technical skill in product and engineering, but the fact that I have alignment to the purpose and that I understand the prioritization, what needs to be done, how people need to cohesively work together. And another thing is, I love solving problems. Like if there is a problem, I ask people to come straight to me. Like I think you can echo that, right? I mean, whenever there's a problem, because I don't think we should resort to hierarchical or egotistical situations, then I think you should just solve the problem. So I try to make that bridge very, very small. Like we have a very flat structure any which way. But if there's a problem, I like to get involved and solve it. It's not like, it's your problem, you solve it. Or you did this, you solve it. So that finally, whether it's our customers, our services, internal products, whatever it is, it will just get resolved quicker. So I think problem solving and, let's say, I mean, I find leadership as a term to be cliche, but like I think maybe bringing people together, aligning towards an initiative, those things have been natural to me, probably from my dad and seeing all of that and things like that. So yeah, it's always been that.
So you realized that when you obviously came in and you said, okay, I'm good at this now.
Yeah.
No, he has this brilliant capacity of getting things done. I think that's pretty much it, right? Because I've got the opportunity to work with a lot of people over the course of 4 years together professionally. There's a lot of things that, and this is amazing. There's a lot of things that you can actually pull off if you are genuinely motivated to do it.
True.
And there are a lot of ways for you to not do it if you decide to not do it, like internally in your mind, right? So you might be communicating something else.
You believe in the thought that the mind is a monkey?
Absolutely, right?
How many peanuts do you throw to it in every day?
I mean, like, I think that's the biggest differentiator working with Abhisyant. He's motivated to get it done, because if he doesn't, he knows the potential loss of an opportunity.
And I want to speak a little bit more in that.
Please.
It's like, for me, right, personally, for me, I feel like very rarely do people get the kind of platform that me and my colleagues have gotten. I feel like ye sab reh ke, if you have everything and if you can't get it done, like, then
Yeah.
what will you do when you don't have anything?
Nice.
Like that is something that personally
Nicely put.
I take that with me to sleep every single day. Like I want to ensure that with no risk involved, the perfect platform and such a great cushion, foundation, and backing that we have in the organization. Like if we don't do it in this position, then how can we make any excuse, right? Or who can do it
कोई
then?
point ही नहीं है, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly, right? Think about it. Like when you have everything and you can't achieve it.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to tell to the team. It's like we do not have a P&L pressure. I mean, you're in product and engineering. All you have to do is you need to live up to a roadmap, imbibe customer expectation, deliver on time, and deliver at a certain quality. But there is no pressure ki how do I pay salary the next month? How do I do these things? So when none of these exist and you have such a great foundational platform, it's like now you'll fail. I mean, like you should
Huge
not.
points.
Yeah.
Huge points.
So this is what I carry with me, and that's what I try to echo to the team. And I tell them that we're sitting pretty. Let's make the most of it. Let's not waste time.
Let's not waste it. Let's
Yeah.
be grateful for the opportunity.
Absolutely,
and go ahead
right.
And do
So-
as much as possible.
Everything is there. Now all we have to do is work hard and potentially work harder than your competition, and maybe you can get somewhere.
You need to, because that's how you stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely.
Talking about this aspect that Abhisyant just mentioned, Abhishek, which is obviously talking to the team, talking to you guys are the younger lot. You are the younger generation.
Yeah.
You will be dealing with a lot of people who are coming in of a particular tradition, of a particular mindset, older, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right? How is it that you are able to bridge that gap in terms of, with you coming in internally now? Forget the
Yeah.
customer, forget everyone else. Because that's the real chemistry. That's the magic that you need to create.
Absolutely. Yeah. I
You
think-
guys understand the opportunity. Do they?
So I think
It's a good question.
it's a very good question, and working with a lot, a big lot of engineers, to make sure that engineers respect you. Abhisyant was just touching on this some time back, right? They respect him. It only comes when they can truly see through you and they know that you have the subject matter expertise to take them to a place that they aren't at, right? So number one rule of thumb for both Abhisyant and I and everyone that's part of that circle is you have to give it your everything. If you are in an industry, you need to make it your life, and it is our life. The amount of time we dedicate to being good at what we do is very high.
Give me a figure.
So I mean, I think we'd be doing
Let me say it on his behalf so that he doesn't sound arrogant. Okay, this guy he works 7 days a week. He works through his weekends. He's also doing a course right now at IIT at the same time, parallelly.
Well done.
So that he bridges the same gap, which is the respect of more experienced engineers. And we are often doing serious customer work into the weekends as well, and we really don't pity ourselves for it.
Yeah.
So I want to say it on his behalf that he's upskilling, he's working, and he puts in probably some of the longest hours in this organization. He comes the first and oftentimes is the last to leave, and that translates into the engineers internally respecting him, his technical capability being above the others, so that he can. I mean, it's not his drive, but he wants to ensure that he can support his team. He does. It's not about trying to be better than them, but it's about trying to like he has to be the fallback, right? I mean, they've tried some pipeline, they've tried something.
Competition nahi hai.
Yeah.
सीधी सी
Yeah.
बात है.
yeah, it's your team.
Yeah.
How do you lead them if you can't solve their problems? So he is like, even during his childhood, and this used to piss me off so much when we were young, I would call him to play cricket every weekend, and his mom would be like, he's at Fiji. Because during the weekdays, you can't go to Fiji. So he was doing 5 days of schooling and then 2 days of Fiji. And I used to be like, auntie, like, please, like, let him play cricket also a little bit. Like, so he's put in that kind of effort and, things like that. I mean, not like he hasn't had his share of fun. I found a way to battle his Fiji drive and make him have fun as well. But
Which is what? What is the excitement as far as fun is concerned?
Right now, as of today.
Right now is obviously having a conversation with us.
yeah, this is the best part of our life
Absolutely.
right now. Yeah.
No,
Chatting with you.
We do this so often, wherein we're having a chat about similar things, because that's the kind of people that we are. So yeah, this is actually it's not like we're doing something new though. We do this a lot, wherein we're having a chat, we're retrospecting, and we're trying to see what we're doing wrong. In terms of what's fun though, I think the new thing for us is traveling together.
Nice.
Yeah, we're trying to dedicate some time to. It's tough, right? To basically make sure that Abhisyant and I and a few others
Do
are
it
missing.
together.
Yeah, to go together is not an easy thing to do, but genuinely on top of the list because we cut off from work just as quickly as we tune in. So
Very good.
yeah. So post 10 p.m. if Abhisyant
like
and I, it's
switch
instant,
off.
right?
Very
So,
good.
Like you see us both outside, like you'll think these guys are like, what are these Vela people doing? Like, what are they talking about? And who are these guys? Do they even do something serious? So our switch on, switch off is like that.
we could be having a very heated conversation at 9:30 p.m. and at 10 p.m. we could be having biryani at Meghna's.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's like that.
But coming back to, let's say, like Abhisyant was kind enough to well answer on your behalf regarding the fact that, in terms of the respect aspect.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd like to hear your side as far as he's concerned.
Yeah, yeah.
In terms of.
So that's level one. Level one is you need to make sure that people respect your work. They don't know who you are when they're coming in. They can only see things with their own eyes, and what they perceive is what they'll believe. If you want people to respect you, they need to really respect your work and your attitude towards your work. So that's level one. Now beyond that, to really make sure that people appreciate, they listen to you, you need to be there for them. Even outside of these work scenarios, you need to cultivate that relationship with your
Very
team.
nicely put. True.
Right. So it's one thing if your engineer is dedicating 10-12 hours of his day, let's say working out for a customer, working something out for a customer, and then
if he's going through a problem at home.
absolutely they fall ill. Maybe there's something that is not going well at home.
Sure.
How do you respond in situations like that? Because the reality is that all the way from Abhisyant, trickling down through whatever flat hierarchy we have, there's a lot of pressure. The customer is not really holding back. So there's really two ways to approach a situation wherein someone really needs your assistance, but you expect them to do work. You could, lash it out on them. You're like, okay, you go on the sidelines. I'm transferring, this to someone else, and we'll deal with this later. Or the other is, okay, no worries. Take care of yourself. Don't worry about this. Let me figure out a way. And that's my job. Like, it's my job to then figure out. It comes as a part of the responsibility to figure out how we deliver that to the customer. So no one suffers. If you're able to take that, I think, it's a trade secret. That's the quickest way to get everyone to respect you. And
get more commitment.
And to get more commitment. Because you were there for them when, they're feeling bad for themselves, or maybe they're not able to show up, there's something going wrong. When they come back, right, now they're tuned and locked into your frequency. I've seen people come back and give 10x, 15x more effort after already being committed, to start off.
But that is always the case, isn't it, Abhishek and Abhisyant? The fact that at the end of it all, we're talking about AI being so dynamic, it being so, it changing the way things work and everything so quickly. And so, but still, we always tend to hark back to the human aspect of this.
100%.
Absolutely.
Finally, I feel that is what keeps
100%.
everything going. And I think, it's an overused term, but human in the loop.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, this brings me to this aspect, which is that when you come in as young brains, young energy, all of that is wonderful in an organization. How are ideas taken up by let's say the larger, for example, your father, for example, the seniors who you are reporting to, and doing all of that? How is that then figured out? And I'm going to come to mine, but prior to that, I would like to understand, because that is something which again is a totally different beast.
Absolutely.
In terms of the way people understand, and the seniors understand the both of you and your team, that these boys are young, they've got fabulous, interesting ideas, exciting, all that. Chalega ki nahi chalega?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, very true. I mean, I guess we do battle that, and we do experience it in some way or form. I mean, because probably, it is one of two things, right? One is we are coming probably from a context that is different from the context that they have worked with for a long time. And two is maybe we're coming from a place of naivety also. So both realities exist in both cases. Initially, internally, my bosses or my dad doesn't really know this, but it would affect me. Like, it would affect me in the sense that I would get a little upset and be like, maybe my opinion is not being considered and things like that. But as time went on, right, what I like to balance it with is the autonomy I'm given in my role, which is I actually don't have any micromanagement on top of me. And I feel like I don't micromanage my team as well. I mean, we have a group of leaders. So I try to balance it with, okay, I am getting autonomy in my role. No one is sort of pinpointing and reviewing and telling that you're not doing it like this, you're not doing it like that. We are only reviewed periodically in terms of our progress. So we have that autonomy. And then when there is a conflict, let's say I have an idea that the organization must implement or a direction or a hiring plan or anything, right? And let's say that that is not found to be correct. Now with little bit of few years of being into it, I kind of try to take it on my chin and I try to be like, okay, like I respect that the organization has a thought process for that.
पहले क्या होता था? पहले क्या होता था?
Pehle I used to go and sulk and be like, "Arey, like what? Like I mean,
But it would have helped maybe when you were telling me earlier that when you were about 13, 14, getting the guys together to play cricket, etc. Something didn't work out. You would still keep making sure that it will find a way and a direction. Did those aspects help you to deal with the sulking? The sulk is natural human behavior.
Yeah. Like I'm being completely transparent.
And
right?
that's how, we all
like
sulk.
so. Like I think the thing there is I would just try to like convert that energy into again going back and doing something, like making it happen. But especially in this scenario, in this setting, I have a lot of respect for my dad. So I don't have a really aggressive approach towards my own thought process and this one. I kind of respect his point of view and respect his opinion. So beyond a point, I don't push it.
Okay, fair.
I try to deal with it internally and be like, okay, I mean, he's built this organization. There is certain things that he knows and comes with wisdom. So I take it on my chin. Experience. Yeah.
Experience is a big,
you cannot supplement
teacher.
that.
Yeah.
So I try to take it on my chin and we try to see, okay, fine. If maybe there is something I can do to address that without making a fundamental organizational level change also.
Sure.
Like, I'll give you a very like simple example. Like maybe I want a pay rise for like 4 people
in your team.
In my team, because they are looking at options or they are having personal problems like they're expressing to us and things like that. But organizations often work in terms of policy. They can't do special treatment, even whether it is something to do with their family or things like that. So we try to find supplemental ways to solve that problem rather than try and say that no, these guys, if they leave, they'll join my competition, then your product won't deliver on time, or this one will go down the drail. So instead of doing that, we try to find that balance and try to give them something else in the interim to solve that problem. At least that is what it is today. I think before, what I would do is, I would feel bad, and complete transparency, I'd feel bad. And I mean, I'm a very sore loser, actually, like extremely sore. Like my brothers, like my younger brother and my cousin brother have bowled so many balls to me in box cricket when we play, and so many times I've been out and I have not admitted that I'm out. So
did you carry the bat and wickets also?
Yeah.
मेरे को नहीं खेलना है.
I mean, I've not done that because I'm too greedy to play.
Yeah.
But like in the end, I just be like, okay, fine, and then I'll take the ball and try to get them out fast so that I can bat again. But I think the thing is that it used to affect me before, and now I try to channel it in a different way. And also, like we are really executing Raj's vision. Like we don't want it to be understood in any other way. Like, everything, every decision, every dynamic that we are taking in the market, every positioning that we have actually comes from like deep thought and thought process from his side. So we get very cognizant of that quickly, and we understand maybe there's something right now I'm not getting. So rather than putting energy towards that, let me do my job well and let's see where it goes.
Why?
So, I mean, it helps us stay focused and stay sharp. I mean, so it helps us to do that. But
Absolutely.
Nice.
But credit to him. I
Good
mean,
grounded ruling, learning that you guys have gone through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And
Which actually, sorry, you were saying.
No, so I was just saying that it's a blessing to be told what to do, to be honest. I mean, think about it. If you are deciding to do something, you are responsible for it now. So, in a sense, if you decide to, let's say at Mr. Rajgopal's level, if he decides to take it, take a decision, it impacts hundreds of people below him, and he's pushing the company in a certain direction. So there's a lot of weightage to a decision, right? Now, when it comes to AI, you need to think on your feet, you need to be really fast. And in this industry, if you are being told to do something, which I think it's a blessing. If you can execute it well, you will definitely reap benefits. I've seen that happening. And I think it is significantly more complex to decide to take a call right now in this industry than to actually execute. So, if I were to answer the same question, I would say that I don't look at myself, and not right now and not in the near future, as someone who's a creative individual who's evaluating all sorts of market dynamics, because literally every dynamic is involved with AI, right? Across finance and tech. And then deciding to push a narrative for a product internally, to push a narrative for how we handle a customer's use case. I'm happy to look at the ethos with which the company is running and to translate that into the product and see how that works out, right? Because and I'll tell you something, right? So the idea behind AI at NxtGen is about more than 3 years old, to do generative AI, right? We've been doing deep learning and machine learning workflows for our customers in terms of compute before that. And that was on some older generation cards from NVIDIA and all of that. But about 2.5, 3 years ago, this was an offhand chat. We had this internal call wherein, Raj addresses the entire team. And in one of those calls, out of 400, 500 people who were present in that call at that point in time, I was doing Android application development and full stack engineering at that point in time in mind. And, Mr. Raj just said that, Abhishek, can you please think about what you're going to do now? He said that in a public call, and he meant it from the angle that he felt that this is done, that industry is solved, it's saturated. Can you please think about what's ahead and best leverage your talent, right? So it came with very good interest, and it was a 5 p.m. call, so I was in office till 7:38 just thinking about what he said, because on paper I'm doing my job well, I'm good at what I was doing, right? App dev and full stack was something I did for about 2 years before getting into AI. So why did he feel that? And then when I had a chat with him, he's like, what about this? Are you willing to get into?
Nice.
This was 3 years ago. So when that level of this before,
I think none of us were thinking about AI at that time.
none of us, right? And this is before the first GPUs had landed in India, these data center GPUs that we now talk about. So when I'm looking at
Huge investment now. Just,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Abhishek, just to say,
Yeah.
Jamnagar, my God,
massive stuff happening.
what they're trying to figure out. Yeah, anyway.
No, so I mean, the idea is that if that foresight exists within the organization, it's best to make sure that you trust your leaders, the direction that they've set for the company. And I put my blinders on. I have no shame in admitting that.
Nice.
Just execute what you've been told to execute, because I have seen other people follow suit and reap great benefits. So I think that's the way I approach.
No, I think it's a fabulous thought that I've been able to understand from the both of you guys, because see, there's also another way of looking at it, right?
Yeah.
What Abhishek just said, the way I can understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong. But the fact is very interesting that you're trusting a vision, right, of experience, of a worldliness, of maybe having a certain amount of foresight. And interestingly, if you embrace it well, you can seriously double it up in terms of the results and all of those factors.
Absolutely.
With the young energy and the excitement and the ideas and everything that you
Absolutely.
bring for it.
Yeah,
Correct me if I'm
absolutely.
wrong, I mean.
No, you're bang on. And to just take Raj's example, he's not like other CEOs in India. I'll be very honest with you. And I know there can be bias at my end, but trust me, it doesn't come from a place of bias. He is the most hands-on CEO you will
Which
see.
helps, man.
Oh, I
absolutely.
mean, I like the range of which is it
I
can
could
be.
feel the emotion that
It's like HR policy to which model we should use. Normally we are supposed to keep a tab on which open source models are coming out, what blueprints are there. Before we know it, there is already a message in our internal chat. He's like, this
the
model
one we
is
should
good
go
for
for.
reasoning. This has good coding benchmarks. Why don't you try it? So it's not like we're doing it purely out of his position and respect, but from his involvement and how much his hands are dirty in terms of the actual outcome. I don't know how
It's a
he.
huge difference.
Yeah, it's a huge difference, right?
Difference.
I mean, you can
Not just for the
tell.
both of you. I mean, I'm pretty sure for the entire organization.
Absolutely.
At the
It
end
is.
of the day, it's a simple logic, na? That the boss, the super boss, knows what he's talking about. So
Exactly.
you
At
know,
every
it's
level.
better.
He set up we got like a huge shipment of H200s. He's the first person to put the first one in, wire it up.
He goes physically for the deployments. Huh?
No,
like you
wow,
want, like we have videos, we'll show you after this. Like he goes, any big deployment that we have, he goes and does the deployment himself. He guides them on how to boot the servers, what operating system to put, how to do it, like from ground up. Like he's there from, so you can tell when you talk to someone who's at 30,000 feet and when someone who is like involved in all of this. So one is respect and his position and that we want to keep our blinders and go forward. But two is also that gap is not there. That gap from, oh, I've seen a vision to actual what we're doing is not there, because he understands what we're talking about, how technical, however technical it is, he's part of that conversation. So when he tells us something, it's like, oh shit, it makes sense. It's not like we're negating it or have a conflict. So kind of becomes easy when someone is involved like that. It's very seamless. Yeah.
That actually, I'll sum it up for what you probably said with one line, which I believe Raj believes in, that wonderful line from F1, put your head down and drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just do it.
So true.
Did I
Go
sum it
after
up?
it.
Perfectly.
Absolutely.
I'm in F1 mode today. Mine, you mentioned that, Abhishek, right? Now, obviously, for everyone watching, I'd want very quickly for you to maybe just tell everyone in terms of what got you both thinking about something like that. And the second half of that question is this, that does that mean that there is a sense of freedom that you get to try and fail and try and fail and try and fail? I want to go there.
Sure. So I think if I were to put it in a few sentences, mine was an attempt to make India's first super app. Right. The idea was to run everything sovereign on our infrastructure, all the microservices, the key microservices involved, and that translated into features like booking a cab, right? Looking at stores and shops in your neighboring locality, so hyper local commerce, to communicate with each other, to have a chat engine running and deployed in India, and to have like a work persona as well, wherein enterprises could schedule meetings and have their own social media feeds and alerts and announcements. So the idea from the beginning was to build India its own super app, and
because the purpose, the why for it is because India's digital destiny is getting compromised the more we use all US based, China based, all these applications.
Fully agree.
Like we do not have control over our citizens' data, and what we are not realizing is like whether it is political agenda or whether it is corporate agenda, whatever it is, we don't have control. Because the data, we do not understand how our own citizens are going through, right?
I think that what you just said very simply, Abhishek, at the end of the day, whether it's this, whether it is that, we are still blind.
Exactly, right? So let's not get to the intention
I
at
didn't want to
all.
complete that sentence. You would have understood from the passion.
Exactly, right? I mean, we can't even get to the intention because you don't even have visibility into it. So you put it perfectly. So the first thing was like, can we create something that creates some localization and control for the country, where you offer at par services in terms of technical capability and quality, and maybe you offer it in one destination so that the user experience is quite unique. And you protect every citizen's sovereignty. This is why we wanted to create it. Like people always used to think, why you guys on this trip? Like why are you making one app like a khichdi? Or what do you know? A better example of that is what save.
Bhel puri.
Bhel. Like why are you making a bhel of all applications that are there into one single thing?
Bhel done, I say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, bhel done, right? Very bhel done. So why are you doing that? So I think the reason was because we wanted to have a place where you could get everything, which is Indian born, and the data is not going away outside, and we don't know what the intent of that data is.
But that's a very novel thought.
And beyond that, we said three principles, right? One is data sovereignty, privacy. Second thing is we said no targeted ads. We said we will build business verticals on mobility, commerce, entertainment, but we won't show ads. The reason being, to show ads, I need to understand so much about you that I am actually crossing boundaries to get more and more information. Because my currency only goes higher and higher if I get more data points on you. So my intention is always poor. So we said, no matter what, we won't have any targeted ads. And the third thing was, whatever business we do, it won't be on a commission-based model.
Okay.
So that it is not unfair for the actual entrepreneurs who are doing that. Whether it is a kirana store or whether it is a cab driver, why should we take 20%, 30% of their earnings for just
Huge.
putting one small app?
Correct.
They have their car, which they have to maintain. They have the EMI.
EMIs.
They need to pour fuel. We do not pay for their maintenance. We do not do anything. Same thing for a Kirana store. They have the entire expense, but 30% we make. So it sounds
Nice,
obnoxious,
very nice,
right?
very
So
nice.
no commissions, 100% privacy, and your no ads or no influence on end users were the three principles that we wanted to build a
When
app,
was this,
super app.
by the way? When is it that both of you had this
I think
brainchild?
we were working on this thought process as early as 2019, I feel.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So I was not even done with college. I was in an internship at that point in time. And that was when we were doing early discussions about having, so the initial name for it was In Collab. Okay, so the code
It
name,
was a take it Inqalab.
Inqalab,
Like
right?
get your
Very
independence.
nice. Very
In
nice. I like
collaboration.
that, boys.
Yeah.
Then why mine?
But then there was a very big ad agency that told us like, it's not going to fly.
So,
So we said that,
Can we
okay.
have this conversation with them?
offline.
Got
offline.
it so wrong.
Yeah. So,
yeah, and
I think it works wonderful. It's
but
poetic.
I think mine is far more powerful because
But
it kind of shows.
what about Raj sir in terms of this thought that both
In
of you
Collab was his
had?
idea.
No, this whole thing is his idea. Okay?
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Very
It's not
nice.
our
he
idea.
was, it was all his thought process. And so even from an engineering viewpoint, right, if you look at it, he told me that, Abhishek, the app is never the challenge. It's the infrastructure that you need to run it.
Which we
Eventually.
have.
So when you do population
of.
scale, I'm going to support you. It's just about, getting, and it's so
So
true.
the only difference there was, as an organization, we were independent, and Raj was more of an advisor. Here we work within
Directly
NxtGen.
under him.
But the vision was set up by him. The thought process, all this thought process of this principled approach was all entirely
तो
his.
issue क्या हुआ तुम दोनों के हिसाब से
What went
problem
wrong?
क्या हुआ because
Maybe-
in my head it makes perfect sense. It makes, you've got the backing, you've got the runway to figure it out, and more importantly the foundational thought process is very, very nice.
Yeah.
So for it to kind of take off or whatever, so where did you guys find it to be in getting into issues?
So I think first I'll start with where we went wrong, and then I want to highlight few things that I feel is wrong even in the general industry of applications and
Please do,
software
yes.
in the country, right? First place where we went wrong, I feel, is I think we were biting more than we can chew. Typically, if you see other examples of successful super apps, there are very few in other countries like WeChat in China, Gojek in Indonesia. There's something called KakaoTalk in Korea. All these are proven super apps, and actually most of the citizens in those countries do everything on that app. Whether it is buying a house, booking a cab, getting your entertainment, Netflix, everything is kind of confined into one thing because the nation understands the power of that, right? I mean, I don't need to say more about it, but they have a lot of political backing to execute that thing, right? And we know so little about China because they have such good control over their data, right? It's good and bad, but anyway, we can get into that. So, point being, I think where we went wrong was all of these applications started as one thing.
Sure.
So Gojek started as a ride-hailing application. WeChat started as a chat application. KakaoTalk started off as a social media or communication application, and then they periodically added things. Now, since this was a proven hypothesis, our attempt was that we're going to offer everything. Of course, not everything, but as much as we can. So we had engineering divisions divided into like 8 different industries: mobility, proximity commerce, entertainment. So mine had its own TV app, mine had its own mobile app, mine had its own application inside it for drivers, mine had a workplace tool like Slack. It had everything. Wow. So if you imagine a user needed anything from their mobile phone, everything was there
provided for
in mine. Now, naturally, that means that somewhere certain things don't work as well, certain things don't have enough attention. So, number one thing is we were doing too many things parallelly. And while you're doing that, as a new entrant, you have to learn about your industry. Now, we were trying to learn about 8 industries at once. So, while you have a good business model and a decent tech team, you can't really reasonably do all of these things parallelly well. So, one thing is we tried, that was where I felt we went wrong. And I think second thing is also, I think we did not have enough technical maturity at that time. We were quite young. So we made some mistakes in choice of tech stack and implementation, integrations. And our app was becoming almost close to 1 GB, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, right. So it is complex. I mean, I don't know how many lakhs of lines of code
Yeah,
was
a
that
lot of
application. It's
microservices.
very complex. So I think those were the places where we went wrong. But I think the problem of doing a software service in India is a very grave challenge. Okay, like we have seen large companies like Zomato and others only just starting to show profits. So they were offered a runway for a decade to burn money without
True.
making profit, right?
True.
We were funded, but we weren't that blessed. I mean, it was a very aspirational thought process, right? Because like you're trying to say that you're going to compete against every app that exists. So it's not a conducive thing to raise money. So the point number one with the industry is that unfortunately the way the market has been cultivated is without giving your user freebies and giving them discounts and all of that. I mean, user retention is an expense. It's not an experience anymore.
So it's like a ingrained pushback in the market.
I mean, the user expects it. Otherwise, why do I be in your app? So it was actually an experience thing. When the concept was created, it's an experience-based thing. It's like how good is the experience of your application, and I retain to it. But now it became a thing of, oh, I have more wallet, so I'll give you more offers, so you stay with me, right? So when this becomes the issue, then you can't sustain in the industry after a certain point. So that became a very big challenge. And the third thing also is, I feel like, I mean, my exposure now recently, because we're doing so much work with NVIDIA and with Silicon Valley, with so many tech startups and all, the VC tech risk appetite in India is very, very low.
I think that's a big one, and I think you've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, I mean, people do not want to invest in something that is even slightly innovative.
And that's a big problem.
It's a huge problem, because if I'm able to showcase a business model where I show profitability and it is in a very understood traditional industry, it's very easy to pick up money. Like even in the data center industry, if it's far easier to pick up money if I want to build 10 data centers, but even though there is like 80% margin in like, or 20-30% margin higher in a cloud service, cloud won't get invested in, but data centers will. Because traditionally real estate is a far more lucrative. So the risk appetite being so less, no one understood that an application like this could exist and create a difference. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't very humble at them. We reached 6 million users. It was quite a large scale. In fact, quite
impressive.
Yeah, and there was a time in Bangalore where after Ola and Uber, we were the third application with the most number of rides daily.
Wow.
So we did get to a certain point, but we could not sustain it because of all of these internal and market-driven challenges. So we decided that there is a new thing coming up in the industry in generative AI. Let's not miss the bus. So we took a harsh call and we said that, okay, it's not panning out, it's not working out. So we just
switched.
Cold turkey,
Very quick.
Yeah, like it's not easy, but we did.
That actually brings me to what Abhisyant just said. He gave me the perfect segue because I had been thinking about this. You are an artist, engineer, passionate about what you do at heart. Correct?
Fair.
I can see it in your eyes. It's easier for him, relatively, because he's like, all right, managerial perspective, there is a larger environment which I'm dealing with, understanding it. You are the one who's like saying, no man, this is going to work. I'm going to try to make it as... You get my point?
Absolutely, yeah. How
difficult was it for you, man? Because at times, Abhishek, it's so tough to kind of just say, I have to pull back. No. No, you can't keep saying to yourself, ये try करता हूँ हो जाएगा, ये try करता हूँ हो जाएगा.
Yeah.
He might be saying it to you, but I mean, maybe, am I getting...
No, you're in the right direction. So I think we have to make note of the fact that it was also my first professional experience, right? So the first 2.5 years of my career were here. Over the first year, we were really just getting the product out, getting in the right features, baking them in and getting it out, right? So I would say that was still a very, very fun experience, right? So make no mistake, right? Sure. The first year of doing mine to do a product, and we were backed well in the beginning. It was really fun. We got a lot of features out. We saw some good adoption as well. Now, like Abhisyant, said, there was also a little bit of an execution problem. Once you're in for, let's say, a year and a half, you start understanding the code base well, and you've now seen the length and breadth of essential services that run on top of the application. You also know the fallacies with the system now, right? There are 3 things that work well and 5 things that could wake you up in the middle of the night. You are motivated to fix them, so you go after them. You do that, as long as you possibly can. But the reality is that I started seeing where we would need support. Like from an engineering viewpoint, we had a great engineering team. We were doing a lot of things. But then when Abhisyant, comes in and tells me that, to do this, we need to get, the right kind of investment, the right kind of backing. I started seeing individual aspects of the app becoming verticals of their own, requiring as much team count that we had entirely just in that specific vertical. And to leapfrog into something like that, you need to be backed well. You need to be backed really well, right? Everyone needs to understand the value proposition, not just the internal team, but your whoever's investing in you. They need to really believe that you're going to do it. The catch here was that there are people who understand the thought process, but then it's like they're investing into 10 companies, so they're going to back out. Further, I think what happens here is we had great ideas within each vertical. We executed them. The industry caught onto them in their own respective vertical. So let's say we do no commission, we do tipping for drivers. Within 6 months, we had people who were just focusing on cabs, literally copying our brand.
By the way, all the business model running in the mobility industry was created by us. Every single one of them. I'm telling you, like on air, like.
No, I want both of you to say that and say that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were the first
pride,
ones to
man.
create a no
Say
commission
it loud
model.
And say it proud, man.
And we were the first ones to create a flat fee. Everyone, Ola, Namayatri, every single person is running on the model that we created. We were the first ones to create
You'd see that you're now tipping on the fly. That was also
first created in mind, copied by us. We thought of a dynamic tipping feature which never existed. In fact, I'll say this now, it was not even my idea, it was Nikhil Chinnappa's idea.
I know.
He would have told you about it. Yeah. So Nikhil came up with that idea and he would bug me and be like, man, Abhisyant, just get it into the app, man.
Because
like, get
it's
it
just
into the
so
app.
human.
Yeah, it's like,
you want to spend that extra $30 because I want to make that meeting.
Yeah, and it's
or your girlfriend's about to break up.
Yeah, and it's a normal thing.
Both use cases.
Yeah, both use cases, exactly, right? So, like, he was so adamant on it, and of course, we did get it out, we did put it out, but the thing there is execution becomes so important.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Because brilliant ideas are there, and such good things can be leveraged if you use it. And now, if you see, it's like a de facto. The tipping feature is there in all the applications.
Everything.
And people use it. If you have to get somewhere, you will use it.
It's a brilliant idea. It's
genuinely a brilliant idea. Nikhil, you've finally done something worthwhile in life. Congratulations. Of course, we'll be
You'll be getting a call after this.
So, of course, we have now taken a deep dive as far as mine is concerned. And again, genuinely a big congratulations to the both of you for taking that initiative, having the ability to say, okay, fine, let me go ahead and try with a noble thought and fail, but at the same given point in time giving the rest of the ecosystem a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Because I think what you guys will come back with now is something which is going to hammer the hell out of everything because of the lessons you've learned.
Oh, absolutely.
So bigger dreams, bigger realities are obviously awaiting you, which is all nice and sweet.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about what is actually fueling this excitement and the friendship for that long. Because ho hi nahi sakta that you guys work in the same place, same environment, and very nice. You know him since he was 4 and you know him since he was 2. All that is nice and sweet. लड़ाई में क्या होता है? Simple logic.
Okay, I'll start. I don't think we have. It sounds too good to be true, but I can't remember a fight outside of work with him.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Have we fought about anything?
I don't think.
Like, if I'm forgetting, you can remind me.
No, I don't think we've. I don't think there's a
like
quarrel
You guys
outside.
have not had issues like beyond the work situation or whatever is the case.
Probably. Oh, wait. I remember when we play sports.
There it suddenly comes.
When we play sports.
Okay.
Only when we play.
No, but it's not against each other.
It's not against. We both are just like determined to win. So only when we play sports, we just both get like we both are same in that way. So when we play with my brother and my cousin, they are like pretty like they'll understand, but like we won't. Like if we think something is in, it is in, and if we think something is out, it is out. Or when we are losing, like the way we are vocal, it's like crazy.
Was there one point for the both of you that you've probably sensed? I mean, I've had it with a lot of my friends. I still do have it. You tend to see the fact that, you know, the guy is maybe not doing too well, for example, right? Generally speaking.
Yeah.
Maybe going through a phase, maybe going through certain aspects, maybe has seen a certain amount of life, has seen it differently. and is not right in terms of on being on track and things
Uh-huh.
like that, right? How have you guys been able to deal with those moments? Because it's impossible that you've not.
No, there's a lot of
seen it.
moments like that, right?
Yeah,
And
there are.
there are a lot of things that. So let's say it's 95% good, right? But the 5% stands out as an outlier. I don't hold back in flagging them. So there's a lot of those conversations. They don't end up becoming fights, right? The volume never increases, but there are a lot of things that he would flag about me that he believes, is on the line, is incorrect, and likewise the other way as well, right? And this could be mostly it's personal things because everything professional, we battle it out here itself. So
And when he means battle, it's like genuine battle, like no
Ladai.
question. Yeah. See,
Like screaming matches.
like, see, he is very respectful because of the corporate positions that we have. So
Yeah.
he doesn't ever break that boundary, but sometimes I lose my cool. And it's not just with him, but with certain team members. Because for me, right, I don't know if it's right, wrong, or something like that, but like every other time in my life when I'm spending with my family, it's like I get to see the size of the opportunity and the opportunity cost.
Interesting.
And that keeps weighing down on me so sometimes
Yeah,
I
I
feel
have
like,
to deliver,
why
man, I
aren't
have
you
to deliver,
seeing
I
the
have to
bigger
deliver.
picture? Like, why aren't
Yeah.
you seeing the importance of what you're doing?
Yeah.
And why aren't you seeing that you're making a careless mistake? So that sometimes translates not in the best way. And it's because of the intensity to deliver and get the most of that
But
opportunity.
Abhishek, that is also, it's nice, but it's a double-edged sword also.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
sometimes it can just have a very strange backlash.
Absolutely right. So what we try to do internally is that we try to maintain a good balance, right? And I want to also pick on the point where you said that you notice someone is not doing well. See, sometimes what happens is that I see him working long hours and overworking and things like that. So we notice that, and then we kind of pull him out of it, me and the other colleagues, and we just go out. We just
Then your group,
hang
then
out.
you as friends come to.
Yeah, we're like, enough, like, get up, like, let's just go, relax, calm down. See, because the thing with Abhishek is, it's two-pronged. One is, yes, he's dealing with a large department. There's about 100 engineers reporting to him. He deals with his own set of pressures. It's going to become 400 soon.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, it comes with his own set of
Amen
pressures.
to that thought.
Yeah. So, it comes with his own set of pressures. But, the thing with Abhishek is, he actually... he is so determined to succeed that the pressure he puts on himself is the highest. You'll agree with me, right?
Yeah.
More than the pressure that is inherently there. So we as friends sometimes try to show him the good side, the lighter side, the fun side, because he's an overachiever, man. Like he was ranked 3 in VIT. It's a 20,000-30,000 college, university, 20,000-30,000 students in that university. So it's like...
that is commendable.
Yeah, so he's an overachiever. So sometimes how we try to balance it is, yes, see, I mean, life is not ideal. There'll always be pressure moments, heated moments, especially now when we are doing something of such importance, especially to the organization, things happen. But I think we are cognizant about that, and we ensure that there's a balance between that and this also. So we notice that if someone is overworked or he's overworked, then we try to like, chalo yaar, let's go watch a movie.
He called you an overachiever. Which is a good thing. And not such a good thing also at times. The balance has to be maintained.
Both sides, yeah.
How would you talk about his persona from the point where you feel as a friend that, okay, Abhisyant, fair, nice, brilliant, but buddy, you got to keep yourself in check as far as this is concerned. Oh, you need to figure out something as far as this is concerned. It will only help you.
Yeah. No, I think he very rightly described, I mean, his challenge is very unique and it's very simple for me to understand. Which is why it's easy to translate directions that, he gives in whichever way into work. His challenge is to, look at everything that's happening on the other side, in this room, on the other side of the fence, and to make sure that he is effectively delivering that to an engineering team. That could be via me or directly to the team members as well. It would be near impossible to find someone who can do this job effectively, while understanding the pressures on both sides. It would be near impossible to get someone in the market to come in and do it effectively today. And I can say that with absolute confidence, right? So that's something that he does really well, and no one can really understand that. And I've told
No,
this
that's
to
a
him.
lonely place to be at
Oh, yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Probably that's what I was trying to understand.
Yeah.
That you as a friend, I mean, that's the one thing that you want to, make sure that your buddy is not going
Yeah.
through, because sometimes carrying that kind of weight can be quite overwhelming.
Yeah, it is, and it is. It is. I don't know if there's a solution to it. I think what he does, and the general prescription to handling something like this is look at the weight of the opportunity that you have. Look at the end of the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel, and see what you could achieve if you were to live through this for some more time. For that, you need grit. You need some grit, right, over a period of time. We constantly try to reinforce belief by looking at the light at the end of the tunnel. I sometimes flag that. More often than not, it's him doing that as well. So when he said that, when people are under stress and we pull them out, it's basically telling them that, look, you need to enjoy doing this as well. You're doing something for the Election Commission of India, let's say. It's a lot of work, yes, but then at the same point in time,
What are you doing?
You're doing something for the country.
Yeah.
So taking that pressure, it makes sense. Take that pressure.
And
but
don't you think
gravitas
if
of
that
that
is
situation.
Yeah, and don't you think if that is easy, then there's something wrong? Because it's something like that ideally shouldn't be easy. Like I'll tell you, like Jensen said in one of these interviews, he does many, but one of them, he said that if you had the chance to do it all over again, would you? And he said no, I wouldn't.
That's honest as hell.
Yeah, that's honest as hell. And the thing is, if you have to be the best in an evolving industry, if you have to capture this one, then I feel like sort of, I wouldn't say excellence, but hard work is not an option, And we kind of try to translate that, and we kind of try
Perseverance
to.
as well, Abhisyant, in a big way.
Absolutely.
Grit and perseverance, I think, are very
Equally, yeah.
Very
absolutely.
important.
we're
Very
not
important.
doing, so this is also something that we have to flag, right? None of us are geniuses.
No,
Geniuses.
bhai, तुम अपनी बात
No. I absolutely, I want to make this very clear. No, I want to make this clear, right? Because
वो भी genius ही है, but
नहीं,
मैं
नहीं,
अपनी
नहीं.
बात
I'll tell you about what I mean and where I'm coming from. We're not building, spaceships that can land back where they, shot up from. We're not building that tech. We're not building, the next thing that's going to take communication between nodes of GPUs from 800 Gbps to, let's say, 5 terabytes per second. Sorry, what is that? 5 terabytes itself, right? Let's say. So that.
Why is it that I'm getting this sneaking feeling that he's thinking about these ideas?
No, but then the point I'm
On
trying
his
to
own
make is
time.
the point I'm trying to make is there is a section of the world that is dealing with solving these
Very low
extremely-
level technology, like
these
very.
extremely challenging things. So what can you do in your capacity with your mind, which all of us have, to make sure that you deliver on something? The only thing that you can control is like keeping your mood in the right place, keeping your brain in the right place, and then just working hard towards achieving an outcome. It's everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. Effectively, you can, let's say, work for 6, and you can do some operational work for the remaining 6. But if you can do that consistently enough, you're putting in 12 hours a day consistently enough, I think you can achieve great things. It might not be the best in the world, but you can achieve great things.
And one submission I want to give also is that I don't know how right or wrong school of thought it is, but we have a very bullish and aspirational thought process here at NxtGen now with AI, because the opportunity is just that massive.
Sure.
So I don't think we are allowing for people to slack. We're not. And I can give that as a transparent submission, and somewhere it sometimes becomes difficult, sometimes becomes this one, and we have to find that balance. But I think these next 5-6 years are very, very important for NxtGen, and we are kind of like putting our head down and slogging it out like we never have. There's no day and night for me and him. Like we are always here, and I can tell you with confidence that none of our competitors in the Indian industry at least are working like us, and we want that work to be the difference of what we put out.
That's
and
what
do.
it is, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It's finally that. And it might not be all jolly roses right now, but we want that to translate into something where, I mean, actually, it's funny. I think just 2 days ago, we were talking about if this work could mean that like multiple generations of our families don't have to work hard.
Nice.
Then let's do it.
That's a wonderful thing to
We
say.
have it on text actually. We were
Yeah, we have
discussing
it
the
on-
same
yeah.
thing. Was it
And
yesterday or day before?
I think
don't know.
yesterday, and
Yeah.
that's the light at the end of the tunnel.
That's
right?
it. That's the grit. That's the
Like,
passion.
let's do it so that, generations of our families can just be.
Beautiful thought, Abhisyant.
Yeah.
Beautiful thought. But actually, Tell me this. I feel a lot of the work that you guys put in is great. There's a lot of number of hours that is being put in, etc. All of that, right? But do you feel, I don't know, I'm a very firm believer in this, that one needs to remain fairly creative on a regular basis, especially the kind of work that you guys are doing, right? You talked about the opportunity, the sheer expanse of that opportunity, and all of that. Which brings me to this: how do you individually keep your passions alive to make sure that that creativity is somewhere percolating into your work, driving you to newer horizons and excitement? Because we're not automatons by the end of it all.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, it's a big challenge, and you've moved into the segment that is on the negative end. In this industry, you need to be like a sponge right now, right? You need to absorb information at a very fast rate and not be bogged down by it, be excited by it. But when you're on the side that's also executing, sometimes you look at the vast expanse of new things happening in AI as pressure, as things that you might have to consider when you're doing the next pipeline for a customer. And that is a fallacy. It's a catch-22. It's a paradox, and there is no two ways about it. At least, from an execution viewpoint, it's very tough to continue being excited about the new things that come in. There's great things happening, right, with the generative AI in terms of modalities, in terms of the kind of models that are coming, in terms of infrastructure and networking. You could be excited on a Sunday and then be worried about it on a Monday. And I think that's the same for everyone in this industry. I think the general consensus when you're on LinkedIn or when you're on Instagram or when you're on Reddit, there's, we had a brief segment about the human aspect to this technology. The rate is now inhuman. The rate at which information is coming in is beyond human processing capability.
True.
And it's good that as a community, everyone is aware of that, right? There's a lot of great experts, from big tech, and then they're acknowledging it as well. I think at the same time, we're looking at a lot of enterprises, MSMEs in India, again zooming in because that's the exposure that I have access to, that are trying to achieve first generational generative AI workloads within their organization. They're not at the stage wherein they could take advantage of, let's say, 800 Gbps traffic flowing through a node and they're wanting to train a model. They want that first chatbot in that could actually drop their services team from, let's say, 10 to 5, and then they could repurpose those 5 to do something else and save costs. So there is a lot of that vacancy as well. So I think for us, what we do is, while there is a nice pipeline to get that information in, we saturate, filter, distill, and make sure that the team focuses on getting generative AI applications to that MSME that wants to do their first generation project. Because that is still something that's not been done. Irrespective of the kind of models that come out, there could still be someone who's benefiting from a chatbot that runs on Llama 3.18b from 2.5 years ago. So that is something that I try to focus on and get the team to focus on. Make sure that this is coming in. But the problem that you have to solve is this. Your customer needs this. It's not.
But Abhi, you didn't answer his question. So he's asking, how do you keep your creative touch,
it's
creative side awake?
I don't actually, and I'm struggling with that. And he's acknowledged it as well, that you need to keep your eyes open.
I tell him to come play cricket with us every Sunday.
Could be one aspect.
We play it very seriously, huh? Like we have a proper NxtGen official team, branded. I've made jerseys and things like that. We take it very serious. We play leather ball cricket.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, so we play corporate tournaments and things like that. And this guy used to come, and now he's not coming.
Or a bowler?
He's an all-rounder, but mostly a batsman. I'm a batsman wicket keeper. So I still
Very
go.
important position in the team.
He keeps wickets for 30 overs and then bats.
I'm the captain as well, and my number is 7 as well. So all those things
not at all subtle.
Yeah, man, not subtle at all. Not subtle at all. And I was never a keeper. I was an off spinner, and then Dhoni became the captain. So I changed everything, became a wicket keeper. But the thing is, I have asked him many times, but I think. The thing about where the position he's in right now is, I told you he's doing that IIT course and all. Sure. He's kind of trying to maximize all his time to become technically averse to how fast the industry is going. But I echo what you're saying, and I think it's very important. While we're very good at tuning out, I think it is very important to have something that is completely different So that
That's what I was trying
burnout
to
doesn't
understand. Exactly.
affect your day to day, right?
Exactly.
I think
Could be like, I don't know, could be music, could be reading, could be watching theatre.
No, you
could be-
convince him to come back and start
be
playing
start
cricket
playing
because
cricket.
he's stopped playing.
I've become part of management at NxtGen in
Yeah.
terms of the cricket team.
Yeah, man. No,
So
seriously.
this is a conversation we had on Thursday, so I'm very well aware.
No,
but
I have it once a week with him saying, come and play. We have a match this weekend, but he doesn't come.
I have his number now.
Yeah, just please pester
So
him.
guess what's happening to you now from here on.
getting into the cricket team. No, but beyond that as well, I think that families sort of coming into the equation as well. You need to have a sustainable route. We're all in the beginning of our careers. I think with the
I
way
think you spend a good time with your family.
yeah,
right? You spend a lot of family
I try to spend time with my family, and with the way healthcare is going right now, I think we're going to be working through till our 70s. So you need to find a sustainable way to do it, and technology will change. I think the next big thing will be quantum. So you have another
we're heading there.
you have another curve in terms of upskilling, in terms of the full stack changing again.
Again, it's not about that. It's about
But it's about-
creative aspects. I
So
see where
Sudhir,
you're
okay,
going with this.
let me answer the question on his behalf. Okay, so I think organizationally, I'll tell you what we're trying to do for that. Organizationally, we are trying to arrive at a structure. Now, this category of service which NxtGen exists in is very unique. Now, your TCSs, PwCs, the consulting companies are slowly starting to get into it, but we were very early into it. So, what we do is, we don't give you a GPU, we give you a GPU with the entire software services to build your use case.
Okay.
Whatever you want to run.
Okay.
Along with the engineering of it, the coding of it, the maintenance, everything. Okay, so it's a very unique aspect. It's not like I'm renting a GPU. Because that is commodity at the end of the day. Someone has, kiska sasta. This, no one can replace because I'm giving you a solution running.
An outcome.
Right? So why am I telling you this? To answer your question is, we have very hands-on involvement today, like we're neck deep in it. Which is why we've spoken on a lot of your platforms and a lot of other platforms that we're making our team into 400. So what we want to do is these 400 members will be divided into small project teams, which will be aligned to building the customer solution. Because we have that much demand. Because people want to do AI, people don't have the skill to do it. So we are waiting for a time where we will be able to manage multiple of these in a very disaggregated way. Now, today, he might have a lot of code commits himself in certain of our big customers. We are waiting to the point where we get to this becoming a scalable model, and is quite disaggregated in terms of we only need to review and manage a lot of projects rather than be neck deep in
Involved
solutioning each
inside.
of them.
Which is the creative aspect of trying
Which is the creative
Or
aspect.
it creates
No, and that gives us some bandwidth
Exactly.
to again become that way. So I think we're in that unique transition phase. Yeah, this is not like our life is like this.
Yeah.
During mine, we used to have a great time. I mean, like we used to be out, and we used to play lots.
No, but that's a good thing. I mean, at the end of the day, it's important for you to be clearly cognizant of it, understand it, be aware of it.
Yeah.
It's a cyclical
You need
aspect,
to work towards
Exactly.
that.
which
So
is fine. So
once we organizationally establish this, I feel like that could be
then
more.
would be interesting. What does M do for people who don't know? I'd want to go ahead and get into that.
Technically speaking, M is an agentic platform that allows users to interact with the latest and greatest in open source without them realizing they're doing that. And how that works is basically M is deciding what's the best model to answer a user's query, right?
Nice.
Or what's the best tool, or what's the best agent. So it's an orchestration framework of multiple tools, agents, and models working in tandem to respond to a user's query. So if you are asking about finance per se, I'm not going to answer that using an agent that just has a general purpose LLM. We have fine-tuned or domain-aligned models for that. If you have a query that is related to coding or a problem solving in software engineering, there's a different agent that's responsible to get you
So
your...
basically, M is India's alternative to Perplexity, ChatGPT, and things like that.
Fair.
Now, why we're doing this multi-agent thing is, you either have one superior model, which is done by organizations that are superior to us, and who have access to compute far superior than what access we have, or you leverage the open source models and you make an equal experience. Now, how do you match up with one model which is super, like ChatGPT 5, is maybe you can use like n number of models and convolute that into one single user experience.
Certain sense of synergy as far as that.
Exactly, right? So while the finance agent is answering the finance query so that it's accurate and relevant and things like that, For the user is interacting with only
A
M.
single platform.
समझ गया.
So the first aspect of M is that we wanted to build it in open source. Everyone is building closed models, and there is a sect of community building open source models. Now, the thing is, while these models are being built, no one is serving these models, except for, let's say, few people who make these models, right? So we wanted to create a service where you have a private, sovereign, India's own AI model that
I
you
don't
can
get a
use.
sense that this was Raj sir's thought in terms of
100%.
that entire method and
100%.
understanding, because it just smacks of that entire methodology and that magic that he turns to talk about all the time, which
Yeah.
is the sovereignty aspect.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
And
an
I'll tell
advocate.
you what is eerily similar to mine as well. What is eerily similar is with this agentic platform, instead of just calling different models, we want this agentic platform to interact with APIs of existing services. It can be anything.
Nice.
It can be booking a doctor's appointment. It can be booking a movie. It can be booking your next trip. In fact, in Cypher, we had announced a collaboration along with ITQ, which is the travel inventory provider for all your online
All the
travel
big flights.
agencies, which is, so they sit on top of Make My Trip, Clear Trip,
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
of these, because they need to be the central inventory, because if I book one from here, it needs to reflect on all inventories, right?
True.
So they are working with us to create AI experience where you can fantasize along with the AI as to what vibe of your trip is,
Nice.
where you want to go,
Very
what are your
nice.
constraints. So instead of you scanning through hundreds of websites,
My God, you hit the nail on the head,
Yeah.
Abhishek, with that one.
I want to go to a beach.
Such a painful experience.
Yeah, I want to go to a beach. I want the flight time not to be more than 4-5 hours.
Correct.
My budget is only so much. Instead of you trying to plan all these permutation and combinations, imagine if AI can just curate everything and be like, oh yeah, for your vibe, for your budget, for your
Nice.
everything, here you go. Here's the trip.
This
Take
is
it.
the entire inventory.
And you've also
So
imagined.
that's just with travel. I mean, is that something that one is going to replicate? Because I think it's a very, very beautiful thought. It solves a lot of everyone's everyday
Absolutely.
issues.
People will replicate it. But I think.
No, I'm talking about M. I
Oh,
mean,
sorry.
Not just with ITQ.
Oh yeah, with all,
I'm saying across.
Oh, yeah.
Cross
So
verticals.
we are going to do this agnostic to vertical.
That's
Yeah.
what I was asking.
So we're going to do it with healthcare, because see, I think, one thing I really imagined, right, with this, like I genuinely had this dream where someone is in a very remote area and they actually don't have exposure to portals and apps and all that stuff, but they have a smartphone because the penetration of smartphone is good. He was in that dream, he was like, in his native language, which I couldn't understand, was talking to M, saying, I have this shoulder pain and like it's hurting me. What do I do? Like, whom do I go and see? What do I go and do?
Nice.
And things like that. And M can actually, in his own language, point
Respond
him
back
to
to
the
him.
nearest doctor who's a specialist in this village hospital, which is there.
Nice.
So the thing is that AI can actually create broader adoption of technology than what your web portals and applications have today. So we have to think about it like an augmentation layer.
some of
M
it.
sits on top, and that increases your I'm forgetting the word. Like, it increases your penetration into various different markets, right? And also your retention, because people have a more personalized experience. People have
Most importantly.
yeah. And the beautiful handshake of M is, if you're, let's say, a Manipal hospital, and I am a NxtGen and I have this product called M, my AI tech stack is fully ready. Your entire website, application, everything is fully ready. All we have to do is collaborate, put it together, and now you have AI that is augmented
Manage
into your
that
thing.
works.
AI enabled, and it's an ecosystem product. I think that's the biggest
And
thing.
it's designed to be easy to integrate. Like
What inspired the name M?
So again, from Raj, but basically the thought process is, it's supposed to denote beginning of intelligence, which means that most humans actually, when they first, like as they're babies, they say ma, ma. The sound that they make is like,
The first enunciation.
enunciation is kind of like M.
Beautiful.
So to deduce that.
Mine was money.
Yeah. Nice.
M.
Yeah, exactly, right. So it's genuinely like that, and that was the thought process behind it. One funny story which everyone doesn't know, which I'll say over here also, is like, my dad once came to me and he's like, Elon Musk just name something X. Like, what is that audacity? I mean, even I want to name something. So the crazy part about it, you can't copyright one alphabet.
Ah,
Right. So if you can't copyright it, that means no one else can.
true.
So there you
yours,
go.
right?
So if we've done M and it's out there now, no one can
No
copy
one
it, no
can
one can copyright
do
it. So it's like beautiful.
Wonderful thought.
That's how he got away with X. Like he
Yeah,
has
yeah,
X.com
yeah. Oh, wow,
and his
interesting.
company is named X.
Wow.
Because it can't be copyrighted.
crazy.
It's a single alphabet. So it's
That's
just,
quite awesome.
yeah, it's quite cool.
I
Yeah.
endorse my hat to Raj sir
Yeah.
on that one. Of course, this brings me to a very important point, boys, which is the aspect of the fact that we are going to, I curated this for the both of you. What if M was a person? And I want to take you through this methodology and understanding. If M, it's first question, whoever wants to take it, given the fact that Abhishek is a great musician, as he was telling me. If M were a musician, what genre would it play?
I think it would be synthetic techno. I mean, have you seen that MIDI instrument, that MIDI
Yeah, yeah,
keyboard,
yeah,
which
yeah, yeah.
you can program to do everything?
That's the one?
Yeah, that's the one. I think that's what it would be.
Interesting, huh, right? You talked about the dream aspect and everything, and I had already curated this earlier. So because you were identifying M as this provider of solutions.
Yeah.
Although obviously very MI6 as well.
Yeah.
So if M had a dating profile, what would it be? What would the bio say?
I haven't.
I can cater to all your needs.
I was thinking about saying that.
Right?
Abhishek, that's a good line. Pleased to be using it
Yeah.
in your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I should be.
What human flaw would you give M just to make it real?
Oh, that's a good question.
I like these pregnant pauses.
Human flaw. That's very good. Okay. Is it okay if I can't put it into a simple
No,
word? Like if
go
I have
ahead,
to
go
explain.
ahead.
So sometimes we find it difficult to explain ourselves to someone, right? Like because your context is different and my context is
sure.
different. So sometimes M being a very large parameter model, sometimes M might have a flaw where if you don't prompt it enough, it's like, hey, hi. Or you tell it like 3-4 words, it might not get exactly what you want.
Okay, fair.
So the human flaw of it might be you might need to explain it a little bit more so that it understands what you need.
Okay.
So some flaw like that, maybe. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Limited understanding, maybe.
Fair enough. We have to get him back into cricket. So
Yeah.
this one goes to him.
Yeah.
If M played cricket, which role would it take? The captain, the finisher, or the quiet strategist?
So I have to say captain, and I'll explain it. Okay. So the captain's working with the quiet strategist. The captain's also working with the players, and M happens to be doing both. Right. It's basically working with tools that actually get work done. These are not so intelligent, but are waiting to follow instructions. And it's also working with expert like reasoning models greater than 600 billion parameters and whatnot. So to happen to be working with both and being that person in between, I think that's the role it plays.
Nicely
It's a good answer, man. Very nice.
It's
Yeah,
a good
that's
answer. We're proud of you. You're back on the team.
Thank you.
If M were on your group chat, what kind of texter would it be?
Knowing M and the kind of reasoning models it has, it would be the kind of spamming kind of. It would give you so much content and so much context and
Yeah, bas
so
kar.
much reasoning. Yeah, it's like,
You know the thorough-
thank you, I get it. I get it.
The thorough texter.
The thorough, someone who puts a lot of effort into their text, like long paragraphs. Like who reads that? Like,
Fair enough. Finally, this one is for the both of you. What's the one trait you hope M never loses?
I'll probably take this. Obviously, an AI system can't truly have compassion, but if we can substitute that with hyper-relevant Indian context, I don't want it to lose that trait. So I want M to be as close to being Indian as possible. So while we are not making the foundation model, there's a lot of work we can do, whether it is using speech models that speak in Indian languages, or we feed it relevant information from the market and from the country, so that it becomes more and more personal and more and more contextual to it understanding Indian context. Even our finance agent, which we have called M4 Finance, or our corporate legal, this one is only trained on all Indian laws or Indian financial concepts like chartered accountancy or the cases that have happened before. So I wouldn't want it to lose its Indianness over time. Yeah, so I wouldn't want it to lose that. Makes sense.
I think M's ability to cover breadth, right? And I think what's happening is the ability to, let's say, understand from a query or what a response should be, and give a user the right response is now becoming an algorithmic problem of breadth, right? How many different tools or models can I get an insight from and then sort of merge them together to give the user a very nice experience? So I think one thing that should never happen is for its ability to, drop in breadth. It should only increase. We should only have more and more things coming in, better experts coming in, and models getting better, so that we are able to deliver, whether it's a hyper contextual response or it's a deep analytics based response, but it should be able to do that well. It should only increase.
And it actually took some level of engineering at our side also. See, we hear about MCP, N8 and these protocols, right? We actually built something that even if you have just an API, you don't have some readily built MCP client or some complex client existing with you, because that's not your core business. Why will you have it? So the effort went into having an agnostic platform which can integrate to anything. So for us, that breadth is very important. Because if you see in some funny way, it seems like a reincarnation of mine in some sense, right? If we are able to integrate with all the kind of applications, if we have the ability to make it more breadth, then it can truly be a reincarnation of a supermodel. I mean, supermodel sounds like I'm talking about those supermodels, but yeah, I mean, it becoming a
But nice. All right, boys, this is of course a very important part of the conversation, which is the rapid fire. So it needs to be rapid fire. So if you're all set, you want to warm up, stretch, do anything? I'm good. Okay, you're good? Both? Okay, wonderful.
So who answers? Anyone?
I'm going to be directing that.
Okay.
Abhishek, who's the worst at replying at Slack or whatever is the alternative to the internal chat that you
Me.
Very honest. Okay. Next one, Abhisyant. Which features would you secretly delete if you could?
From M?
Yes.
He loses points for this, right? Thinking.
No, the thinking feature.
I said it. Like, how can he just take it? They'll cut my part
Just
out.
please cut his part out and just say that I said thinking. Yeah, nice.
You, Abhishek. Who is most likely to crash a bike and still show up for release night? Although it never should happen, God forbid. But well, if that be the case.
Me.
I agree with that.
No, but then the crashing the bike needs to be given equal weightage as
Cricket field or product room? Pick one.
Cricket field.
I like that honesty. ये तुमने बिल्कुल front foot पे covers के ऊपर से छक्का. Very good. Last one. One thing, this is for the both of you. One thing you've learned about friendship from building together.
Connection.
Wonderfully said. Finally, both of you, I would like for you to maybe give a message to everyone watching, everyone who is starting off their careers. You guys have just started off not very long time back, but given the fact that you've been working since, well, grade 10 respectively and earlier, it seems that you guys are already veterans. So maybe you're in a position of authority to give a message to everyone who's kicking things off.
So, I think what I would like to say is it's not going to be something that you usually hear, but I think I always tell everyone that you have two routes. One is do what you love, and the other is love what you do. And you have to understand that you have to either take one of these two paths, and there is no gray area in between. So if I had to put that to myself, if doing what I love is playing cricket, but doing this today, I have learned to love it. Otherwise, you're not being true to your organization, your family, your peers, or anyone if you don't find a way to love it. So either do what you love or learn to love what you do, and then you'll realize that automatically you are able to put your best foot forward and do the best that you possibly can.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I think one solid piece of advice for everyone that I apply to myself as well is you need to give yourself depth. Respect yourself enough to give yourself more depth in whatever you do. What happens is, and this is age agnostic, you could be in school, in university, or you could be in a job, or you could be, way ahead as well in your career right now. But people always are able to tell apart someone who has depth in their field to someone who doesn't. And this could be whether you're being very thorough with what you're studying in university or in school, or this could be how much attention you give to your day-to-day at work and how good you are at dispensing your duties. It could be you as an entrepreneur, right? How much do you really understand your team and your company's ethos? Or it could be you being a CEO or someone at like a senior management position as well. If you're able to get depth into your personality, people respect you. You respect yourself much more, and the only way to do it is through work. Just work towards it.
So true.
Wonderfully put, both of you. And I would genuinely like to thank the both of you for being on the show with us today.
Well, thank you so much.
It's truly been real on simulated reality. And thank you so much for that, for your honesty, for your transparency, for all of the fun, the energy, the excitement that you've brought in. And I have to say this, that this is probably what my takeaway is. That if you build with passion, with purpose, and with a sense of a noble thought behind it, I don't know, both Abhishek and Abhisyant, even if it doesn't turn out to be even if it turns out to be imperfect, but it's actually alive. And that, to me, beats every day for the rest of my life of anything trying to be perfect.
Absolutely.
So keep building with that passion and excitement and that brilliance, with India at the center of the beating heart.
No, truly, thank you so much. I mean, this was a very refreshing conversation for us, and I'm not just saying this for the sake of it, but I am walking out with few things that I feel like I can do better, and a few things I feel like we can solve.
There's clarity.
Both
Nice.
professionally and personally, and that just shows to your understanding and the way you are able to reflect with us. I mean, it was a wonderful experience, and also the platform which you guys have created. I mean, it's a very important platform for people like us who are trying to do something in this industry, and thankful for the many avenues in which good work is being highlighted, and people who are doing this work is being highlighted. I hope people get to see beyond the products and get a sense of the approach in which these things are coming to you, more than just a screen or
I believe we've been able to give them a
absolutely.
interesting
So it's a
peek.
beautiful platform that you guys have created. I mean, really kudos to you guys, and you guys are doing it different. I said it to you offline right before we started. So power to you guys, really.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. Thanks,
Onwards
AIM.
and upwards to the both of you, and to NxtGen, to M, and to all your endeavors in the future.
And AIM as well. Yeah,
And
don't
AIM
forget.
as well. We aim for that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.